muffled. Let's turn that up a bit. Is that any better, Jim? That's the wrong mic. This is why. Hang on. One, two. I do seem to be having audio problems this evening. That one. No. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, it's getting better. Right. I just think I was mumbling. Oh, it's getting better. Okay, well, good evening all. Welcome to the BATC. Yeah, I'm on the camera. I'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm not going to waste time on it at the moment. Welcome to the BATC Net. Seem to have a good few on this evening. Jim, G7NTG, you'll be on first, just to give you warning. Got Martin, G4FKK, Mike, G0MJW, Rob, M0DTS, Duncan, G7VVF, James, G0DQH. Tim, perhaps you can come up on the chat if you would like to transmit. That's a thought. Good to see you on the chat anyway. Sure, will do. Okay, so I put G4WIM on the end of the list, followed by Tony, G0AZQ. So good lot there. What's happened this week? Well, CQTV went in the post yesterday. Some people will have received it today. Hope that all is all good. Michelle, I've got you on the list as well now, right at the end. Shop's been very busy since then, and I've been taking a little bit of time off from BATC stuff, and I'll show you what I've been doing on my over. So without further ado, let's put it round to Jim. G7NTG and the group G8GKQ.
Right, just quickly mute that. Good evening everyone, and I hope you can all hear me okay. Yes, got the magazine nice and early, that came through, so nice reading on that. Been a bit busy after hinting that I might be able to make power meters. I've been snowed under. Everybody wants one, which is good, I don't mind. So I've got 3 being posted on Saturday, and 2 have already gone, so I'm doing rather well. I've got a big backlog of people wanting them, so hence all the tests, all the amplifiers here for testing them. I've been running DVB-S2 into a load, and that's been good fun. I have actually come up with some nice labels for them. I think they're not too bad. I'm not sure how close I can get with this. You get a rough idea there. I haven't calibrated the scale on this one yet because unfortunately I ran out of ink in my printer, so that's been curtailed until I get my cartridges delivered. Right, okay, I won't hold it any longer. I will put it round to Martin. So it's G4FKK from G7NTG with the net.
Yes, even though I had plenty of warning, I still managed to put a black screen up. So sorry about that, chaps. Yes, power meters look great, Jim. I've done something similar-ish with one of those directional couplers here. Oh, I better turn the fans on the amplifier. Completely unprepared. I thought I'd try not to get Mike vexed about my eating habits, so I finished early today, but not early enough, evidently. That audio's a bit loud as well, isn't it? God. Let's turn that down a bit. Right. I'll keep it quick because I've had a terrible week this week. Hardly any radio stuff at all. My back pain appears to be becoming chronic, so that's a bit annoying. And but I did spend some time after advice from Mike and Dave last week, I think, saying that my suspected 1.5 centimetres out on my focal point on my LNB was not a good idea. So I spent quite a lot of time putting unmodified, unpotted LNBs on, and I think my dish just seems deaf. The best I could get on the beacon was 8 dB MER, which I know it's the beacon and it's a bit wobbly, but it's about half a dB less than that when I put the modified one on, that's got the potty on it. So, and I did all sorts of tweaking of the dish and the elevation of it. So I'm losing compared with everyone else who seems to get the beacon at about 10 most of the time. I mean, on Tuesday it went down so low that I couldn't even get a picture of it. It was at 4, I think, MER, so something's not right somewhere. Anyway, I shall carry on working on that. I did manage to lose my pencil, rather like Tony Hancock as well. Your audio I thought was very good actually, Dave. A bit low, but not as near the clipping edge as usual. And with that, I shall pass it straight on to Mike. And hopefully you'll be running a few more watts than you were when you were testing, because I wasn't getting that at all due to my pathetic system here. So round to you, Mike. G0MJW, G4FKK standing by.
Right, turn my volume down. I'm running minus 0.9 dB, so hopefully that's about right. But I can increase it if you like, Martin. Maybe turn it up just a tad. A dB or so, that might help. Oh, is there no audio, Rob? Oh, I'm worried now. It looks like it's going out here. Let me just listen to myself. Oh, is there no audio? Yeah, there's audio. Must be you, Rob. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's okay. And yes, thank you, Martin. All interesting, and it's good to see Jim building all those power meters. And I've been looking at them on Facebook and trying to zoom in on the pictures, but the pictures aren't quite big enough to detect exactly what's there. But they all look very good. Of course, I'm interested in building one, and I guess I should get on to what's on the bench, seeing as we seem to have a what's on the bench session. And what's on the bench is not very much at the moment, and in fact it's also not quite in the right position, so let me just move the camera a tad. Hopefully that'll make it a bit better. Not a lot. Hang on a minute. There we go, that's better. This thing in particular might be important to people who are building a winter hill. It's a 90-degree HDMI to HDMI cable, about the right sort of length so that it will fit in the box, and then you need to get a chassis mount HDMI coupler, which are quite cheap to put on the back panel if you want to actually use the HDMI output and have all the case together. So it's another hole you'll have to drill. What else? There's one of these useless 2.4 gigahertz receivers, which I don't know if anyone was asking about one of those. And there's a 30 dB coupler which arrived this week. And the filter for the 4-meter amplifier and a few other random bits. So that's what's on the bench. The other thing though is, let's get the, right, you know, a 10-meter long USB cable is a really useful thing to have when you've got a shaky camera. The other thing that's not on the bench, but on the desk, is this thing. Now, some of you may recognise what one of those is. It's a port stand, of course, and attached to it is a Lime amplifier and a driver amplifier and a power meter, and I was absolutely gobsmacked to discover that I can get into a GB3 HV on 77's 33V kilosimples. Not only could I get into it, I could get into it with 200 milliwatts, which was quite remarkable. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there was a lift, but I've never been able to get into it in the past. So whatever Noel's done, really, really good. Okay, quite a lot of it on. So I'll say a little bit more maybe on the next over. And pass it over to Rob. Rob, your Raspberry Pi looks wonderful. I assume you're taking commissions. Unfortunately, I've already drilled my hole, so it's too late for that. But I was really interested in that CNC mill as well, so maybe you'll talk about that at some point or on one day. Anyway, never mind that for the moment. So let's pass it on. M0 DTS G0 MJW.
Come on then, I'm waiting for it. Seem to have a laggy video. There we go. We've got some now. Yeah, so not a great picture there coming through. It's a bit grainy, but there isn't much light left outside. So I did a little bit of work on the antennas this week, and I've now got a 6-meter 5-element, I think it is, LFA Yagi. So progressing there to get some tests done on TV on 6 meters. Right, there we go. Interested to see how the lip sync is this today. Oh, it's working. It's okay. That's alright then. Yeah, I'm using a different microphone as well. I've got one of these USB kind of studio-y type cheap Chinese microphones. So comments on the audio be appreciated. I think it seems okay. It might just be a little bit lacking in better than Top of the Pops. Yeah, that's always lacking. Ah dear. Yes. So yeah, so anyway, the thing that Mike was on about, which came out quite well actually. So here we have the BATC advanced receiver in its nice little box. Yeah, the back panel is CNC cut. I did quite a few measurements with the calipers and various things, and it seems to come out pretty good. There's the 2 holes there which are blowing out quite warm air at the moment. If I put my hand on the top, I can feel it's slightly warmer than what my hands are. It's not. Well, be a good question what the actual temperature is. I'll get the thermal camera out after and have a look. But yeah, there's a decent bit of air blowing out the back of there. There's also a bit blows out the back on the USB sockets and things as well. But yeah, the bit Mike suggested, which I wasn't even going to do really, but put a little raspberry on the bottom. We had a little bit of trouble with the bits on the 2 little leaves on the top with the milling machine, but it came out quite good. So the fan lives under the bottom of there it's a little bit offset versus the fan, but no one's ever going to see it anyway, are they? So yeah, I'm not going to open the box because you've seen it. Well, you've seen it on Mike's transmissions quite a few times now. So that's been worked on there. The original one lives with another Raspberry Pi in this box here, which has got in the back there. It actually had the option to have two Minitune V2 boards on a Raspberry Pi that hosted the stream into my PC. So this does a better job, so I've converted to this one. What else? Got a new high-tech machine in the shack now. I used to have one of these when I was about 9 or 10. Never really knew how to use computers and stuff back then. Had a bit of play around, so managed to acquire another one. So there'll be some weird and wonderful projects coming from that, I would imagine, very soon. So that's only just turned up today, so I've got that to play with. And the other thing, which has cropped up quite a bit just recently, is the old TV. So you can probably make out from the picture there, it's got a bit of woodworm, needs a bit of refurb on it, and there's the chassis out the bottom. So it's going to be quite a long-term project, this one, but yeah, quite an interesting project, trying to get that working again. We'll see how that goes, but like I said, long-term project. It's not going to be going anytime soon, but I've started, so I have to finish at some point now. So there we are. Right. So who does it go round to? That was long enough over. G7VVF. Artec TIG unit. Yeah, I haven't used it a great deal, but it was not really an impulse buy. I'd wanted one for a long time, but still learning. Haven't done a great deal of practice, but that's the one. Yeah, exactly. Perfect for the 64. Exactly. 405 line, yes. And it's about 1951. So there we are. A bit low level on the audio. Okay, I'll have a look at that for the next over. Right, AC or what, the band or AC DC both? It does. I went for that. Right, let's pass it round to Duncan, I think it was. G7VVF M0.
There we are. Right, now I know I've got some audio. I'll mute myself. There we go. Fine, that's a bit better, isn't it? Thank you, Rob. Yes, I do like your milled box with your Raspberry Pi logo on it. Very nice indeed. Well, I haven't got a workbench of stuff to show you, I'm afraid, but I've been playing with a bit of computers and getting H.265 working. I think for anybody who's going down that route, I think any i5 or i3 6th generation will do the job. As far as I understand, they all have the Skylake chipset, which will do H.265. So I bought one, which is cheaper than buying a NVIDIA graphics card, by the way. So
Maybe that's a better route. So I've just been rearranging the shack a bit, you know. Let's show you this other camera, I think. Here we go. It's not a case. It's not a case of audio on cameras. It's a case of audio in OBS. So sorry about that. Yeah. Too many scenes listed in OBS. I think that's what it is. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, I was saying, if you didn't hear Mike's comment on can't get graphics cards. No, buy a computer instead. About £105 I think I paid for this one, for an i5 6th generation. Seems to do the job. But I did have a query about, I'm using OBS, I'm using the virtual camera plugin, and the most recent script from, I can't remember the call sign, but you know the one I'm talking about. And I notice I get, every 10 seconds I get a kind of refresh, and the picture goes momentarily, it kind of pixelates a little bit every 10 seconds, and doesn't matter what sort of bit rate or anything I'm running, it seems to do it on all. So I just wonder if anybody else has seen that. It's weird. It doesn't do that, the old method, out of OBS, let's put it that way. So there you go. Yeah, no, I think that's about it. Just commenting on Martin's, what he said about his dish size or dish alignment. I get about 8.6 I think dB on with a 1.2 dish. That's with the potty on. I did get more without the potty, with a straight LNB, but it does the job anyhow, let's put it that way. Well, I think that's about all I've got to say anyhow. Maybe I'll think of something for next time round. So I think round to G0DQH, I believe, from
Okay, just checking to see if I've got audio. Yep, okay. Now I've got to get a picture back. Yes, there we go. Okay, good evening everyone from DQH. I'm running a fairly high FEC tonight, actually 8 nights. So there is a reason for that. If I have a video and it's fast moving, it pixelates like lasers. So there's a bit of work to be done, I think, on the software. Thanks, Jim, for the meter. I'm looking forward to getting that. We posted the check yesterday, second class, so hopefully it'll be with you tomorrow. So there you go. Okay, that's short and sweet for me tonight, I'm afraid. I won't be back the second time around, and we'll get an early night, I think, tonight. We did go, Mo and I did go for a walk up in the forest day before yesterday, and it completely shattered us. It was, I nearly fell asleep at work the following day, and I came home early. So we've recovered a bit, but first time out since lockdown, really, for a meaningful walk. So very nice to do, and it was lovely sunshine too. Okay, who's next? Let's have a look. G4WIM, I think, from G0DQH, and I'll pass it on. Look forward to seeing everyone next week.
Cam with its internal microphone, and enjoying looking at myself coming back down using Winter Hill with 4 separate receivers going. No audio, Tim. Oh, that's a shame. I thought I had audio. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, do we have audio now? Audio now? Question mark. Do we have audio? It looks like I have. Maybe somebody could tell me on the chat box. Any kind person tell me on the chat box. Yes. Right, okay. Don't know what happened there. Gremlins got into play. Everything was working beautifully until I came to turn it on and the audio went away. Anyway, good evening all. First time on the net, and enjoying watching myself coming back down from the satellite using Winter Hill. Very nice receiver, very pleased with it, and congratulations to all those who've worked on it. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm running here is Pluto with OBS and running currently about 30 watts output to a 1.2 meter dish. Using performance. So I'll just
Oops, maybe a little bit too much. Last time it was not enough. Okay, good evening, all of you. Pleased to be back with you tonight. A few things to talk about tonight. Last Friday we have been busy with my friend HB9AZN to reinstall our TV repeater TV3 in a new version called Mark II, fully digital. Means that the signal is coming in and going out without leaving the digital world, and it works nicely. And today I've been in the countryside, a place where I can see the two of the relay. Both of them are on the what we call the Jura. It's the mountain you see on the back of my car. Is a chain of mountains going from Geneva up to almost Basel, and the two of the relay, TV1 and TV3, are on the mountains. So the goal was to test with my portable station, was to test that from the countryside we can access the two networks and transmit pictures from one to the other, because we have a third network, third relay, which see TV1 and TV3. It's called TV2, of course, as is on the middle, and you see both of the relay, and is a kind of transparent relay, pass-through relay. And we can direct the traffic from one TV1 to TV3 and vice versa. And on the TV2 repeater, we have output on the 13 centimeter with all the channels on it. Okay, so that was the nice afternoon with a beautiful weather here in Switzerland. So these mountains, in fact, are between the lake and the Jura Mountains, and is what we call the plateau. The other thing I wanted just to talk to you is, if you are not aware, is a new version of the NDI toolkit. And they have made some nice improvement on the toolkit of the NDI toolkit. They have added something very interesting, which is the NDI for VLC. So basically you can output your stream from VLC to NDI. So it's quite nice to get your video stream in OBS or vMix, because both of them are supporting the NDI network protocol. Okay, so that was the second thing I wanted to talk to you. And the last one, I've been playing with something very nice also. I think I've seen some article regarding Stream Desk, kind of Stream Desk like Elgato. I've seen some development based on the Arduino and all this stuff. But I found another one which is really, really nice. Doesn't need any programming and construction. It's called StreamPi. And runs on Windows, on Linux, on Mac, and on Android. So it's really nice. I have installed it on my PC, so I have the server on my PC, and he can talk directly to OBS and control almost all the function from OBS. So it's really, really very nice. Let me just show you. Where is this pictures? Yeah. So here you see the interface. Okay, you see the interface on the server, which allow you to construct your deck, which is going to run after on your tablet. I will show you. I'm running it on the tablet, on your Android phone, or directly from your window. If you have two screens, it could be very nice. So, for example, here I have 3 profiles that I'm using with TV network. So just clicking on it, you will just do the work on OBS. I can also start recording, stop recording, and so on. You can also, of course, control application on your window environment. For example, I have a 1-minute tuner looking at the HB9 TV network. I have another one for Q100. I have the nice quick tune and TS reader, and also I can go directly to the BATC streamer or to the channel for HB9 TV or to the chat. So it's really a very nice product. It's free of charge, and it's running on Java. I think that's why it's easy to implement it on all the machines, different hardware. And let me take out this picture. And if you have an old telephone, you can use it in the deck. But here, well, I have it on the low-cost tablet. Very low-cost tablet. Is only one thing you should be aware. You need to run 64-bit Android software. Otherwise, it will not run correctly. It will not run at all. So it's really very nice interface to pilot your station and make it really easy to use. Okay, so I think that's all for this turn. I will give back the stream to Dave, I think.
Right, thank you, Michelle. From G8GKQ. Yeah, very interesting, Michelle. I have now sorted my audio issues. My laptop had managed to mix up the inputs. So a reboot of the laptop and a restart of OBS, and we're in business. So back on the boom mic. We were on the camera mic, as everybody had guessed before. The StreamPi looks really nice. There's so much going on in this area now, Michelle. It's a really nice controller. My video switching isn't the best in the world. I need to do something about that. NDI, of course, makes things easier there as well. What a great image. Oh, right. Thank you, Mike. There's only a C920 just in the shack. And nice to be able to get out to the repeater, Michelle. I hope to go out portable next week with Noel. Got some tests arranged. Yes, Tim, your bit rate caused all sorts of problems. But the figures Mike gave you are right. The 10-second refresh is every time the encoder sends I can't remember if it's an I frame or a B frame, the group of pictures interval. And different encoders do it better or worse. A lot of ports down stuff does it every 4 seconds. So it's something that happens with fast video compression. Nice being able to mill holes in boxes, Rob, like you do. Although the woodworms seem to have made a better job on the old TV. But it'd be nice to have that going on 4 or 5 lines. I wonder what video source you're going to use. Power meters, yeah, you'll always end up with different answers if you've got multiple power meters. I tend to use a large attenuator and an HP for checking stuff, and if it's within a dB or so, even though that can be tens of watts, that's what I want to know. Right, what I've been working on this week is a Raspberry Pi application to sit after my homebrew spectrum analyzers so I can capture the picture on them. So what I'm after doing is getting an image like this. Hang on. So that's just moving the other camera so we can see something in a minute. The sort of capture I've been getting. Now this is off my homebrew spectrum analyzer, so you actually type in all the figures and the title, but it comes up with a capture like that. So let's see if we can put that onto live view so you can actually see it. There's a bit of reflection there, but there we go. Yes, it's a Portsdown box, but actually it's doing something else. There's an MCP 3002 analog to digital on the connections. I'm working my way through the menus, so you can re-enter all the labels. Return to the main menu. You can't really do much else at the moment. You can freeze it. You will be able to normalize stuff like that. But the great thing is you press this button here and it just captures a screenshot of it and saves it to disk. So that's what I've been working on this week. Apart from repairing the 5.7 gigs gear and a few other odds and ends. So that's what I'm going to show for now. Let's go back to the top of the list. I wonder where Tony G0AZQ has disappeared to. If he comes back up on the chat, we'll let him in. But let's go round to Jim. And by the way, good evening to all the watchers. I know Bernie's watching G4HJW and Jules and a few others. And we have plenty on the stream. How many on the stream at the moment? 36. I'm sorry, we lost the stream briefly while I was trying to get pictures out of Tim's stream. Right, over to Jim, G7NTG and the group G8GKQ.
Right, just wait till I've got some sound. Which I have, right, G8GKQ, G7NTG. And good evening everybody else again, if they haven't seen me already. Very nice spectrum analyzer, I do like that. That looks very interesting, that does. Mine weighs about 200 weight, I think. But there you go. Yeah, I've been a bit busy as well as doing everything else. And built one of these boards up, the upside down really, isn't it? There we go, you better read it then. So I've built one of those which work very nicely. If I plug it into my Portsdown 4, I can use it as the receiver. I've locked my picture froze then on my unit. Yes, so I can transmit with the Portsdown 4 using a Pluto, and I can receive using the Nooker, but I can't do both at the same time, unfortunately. So I've got to come up with another receive system. So what we need is the Ryde version of this, developing quickly. I don't know how far that's going along, so I can use this with a Pi 4 and make another Ryde. And also got the advanced receiver and a box to put it in, and great big bag of bits. So that'll be one of the things that goes on in the lull between waiting for bits or waiting for things to happen on the other projects. So all works very well. It's freezing with anybody else. It froze for a couple of seconds there. So I wonder if that's happening with anybody else. Perhaps you'd tell me. It's probably just my Ryde receiver. It's probably getting signals coming from everywhere. It's probably picking up local signals across the shack as well as stuff from the dish. Anyway, I think it's enough from me, and it's round to Martin. So G4FKK, round to you, Martin, from G7NTG on the net.
Yeah, fine business, Jim. G4FKK. Oh. Although I read a letter in Radcom the other day saying that we're not supposed to say things like fine business, old man. All the rest of the jargon. Anyway, very good. Really interesting from everybody. I'll quickly run down my notes. 10 meter USB cable, good idea. And I think you said it was on 70 SEMS mic that you managed to get into HV on 300 milliwatts. I'll have to put up a 70 SEMS aerial because I've just got this feeling I should be able to at least receive HV, because 70 SEMS is a sort of sensible frequency that you don't need WOX for. HI, sorry, not HI. Rob, that CNC cutting's a delight, and yeah, you're going to have to get that old telly going. And although I think probably the Commodore, doesn't that need 625 lines, but you can soup that up a bit, I think. And Duncan, well done on getting H going. I've got an old i5 here, which it must be an intermediate one because it's got the H.264 hardware encoder on it, but not H.265. So if I try and run H.265 using Dominique's script, it throws a complete wobbler, so I'm assuming it's not there. And yeah, with my ancient i5, the script needs a bit of tinkering to make it actually work. But at the moment, for this net, I just use OBS with the RTMP stream, an H.264. It's primitive, but it works. Relatively primitive. James, yeah, the walk, very tiring. I went on a long walk today with trying to get rid of my bad back. It doesn't seem to have worked. Perhaps I'll talk to someone who knows about medical matters. Tim, G4WIM, good to see you on, Tim. And yeah, I think you fixed it now by looking at the chat. But the as Roger said, I think you had a bit of a lack of null packets, overcooking the thing, but I think you fixed that now. Michelle, fine business on your full digital system. Yeah, my last project work at the BBC was down in Cardiff in Wales, where everything is IP. So it's broadcast radio, TV, intercom, everything is IP based on a thing called Live Core, which you probably know about. And the Stream Pi looks very good as well. Yeah, your spectrum analyzer there, Dave, absolutely fine business. And I didn't realise it was a homemade one when you showed the first picture. And Jim, yeah, your video was locking up here a bit, but I think Michelle said it wasn't it wasn't with him. I've just got a very short bit of video I'm going to show. This is for Dave, really. This is all unedited. I found it the other day when I was trying to find a picture of my Piper Cub. This is me flying the Piper Cub over Gatwick, and I won't put it on for very long because to get the best pictures I had to stick the camera out of the window of the aeroplane, so well, you'll hear what that does. And also you probably won't approve of the fact I'm flying the aeroplane, talking to air traffic control and the guy sitting behind me and operating the camera as well. It's just not the thing to do. Stand by that. I think that's probably enough of that. Dave will be having 40 fits, I should think. Right, well, I'll say good night to everybody. Lovely to see you all on, and best to fly inverted. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I don't think I've ever done that in a Piper Cub. I'm not sure it's physically possible, but you never know. Dave will know. So with that, it's back round to you, Mike, and what I had a note for you to ask you something, but you'll be glad to know I've forgotten what it is. G0MJW, good night to you and everybody else. This is G4FKK standing by.
Right, okay. Well, Martin, it's only a problem flying inverted if something goes wrong, and even then that's only a problem once you hit the ground. So you could try it. But you did look a bit close to Gatwick there, so I'm surprised you weren't causing trouble to air traffic control, but maybe you're not. Anyway, all very nice. I'd love to be able to do that sort of thing, but I never really got into flying. I think I flew a chipmunk. That's about as far as I got. Anyway, I don't really have very much else to add. The one thing I was maybe going to show you is this thing that's got absolutely nothing to do with DATV, but it's arrived, it's turned up, and I think a proper malachite. Anyone who's interested in malachites, and this is currently receiving radio 4 on that little whip aerial. And the interference is actually due to my LED lighting, but it is working, so very impressed with that. Much better than the Chinese clones. To get into HV, I was using 200 milliwatts, not 300 milliwatts, well, according to the power meter, but I did use quarter rate coding at 333 kilosymbols, but the video is quite good, so it was fine. And with more sensible 2/3 rate, I could get in with 1 watt. I was astonished by that. I'm sure that was good conditions, but I'm going to try it later on this evening and see if I can still get in on a normal day, and we'll see. But I needed to turn the air in my direction, and Noel kindly showed me how to do that. But it's remarkably sensitive. Unfortunately, you can't receive it because it's transmitting on 9 sems, I think. Or maybe it's transmitting on 23 sems, but whether it's transmitting, I can't receive it. It is over the hill from me. It's only 50 kilometres away, but it's right through a hill. So the path is not very good. In fact, I did a path profile plot. Have I got that to hand? Let me just have a quick check. Talk amongst yourselves. Desktop. There you go. So there's the path between me and the repeater, and the path loss comes out at 165 dB. So it's quite a lot, but not too much. But that's because of my location with respect to this hill here, and actually also this hill here. It's about 10 kilometers away, this one. So it's not the normal hill that's in the way, which is right up next, close to me. It's another hill. So if I was to get myself a 100-metre mast, I think I'd probably be line of sight to it. But unfortunately, that's not really practical. Okay. Sorry, talking about propagation and things got nothing to do with satellites. Oh dear. Who is it next? Rob M0DTS, who's now going to try and weld together a Coke can. Over to you, Rob, and for everybody else, I guess it's goodbye. So, see you all next week. G0MJW.
There's that bench shaking again. It really does rattle the bench, that mic. It really does. Right, let's see. So I've given it a little bit more audio drive this time, so we'll see what that sounds like. Hopefully it's a bit better. I can see it's just peeking up into the yellow bit on OBS now, so hopefully that's a bit better. Yeah, the welding arm. To be honest, I haven't done a great deal with it. I've done what I've needed to do. I had a couple of little jobs, aluminium things to weld up, and I've actually done more steel with it than anything. But yeah, it just makes a lot nice, tidier job, but not particularly cost effective. But it works, and we'll learn a bit more as we go along. So if I do, let's see. Oh, so you were mentioning about the 405 line. Well, there's a bit of software called Hack TV. I'm not sure whether it's even already on the Pluto, but that enables you can fiddle with the settings on that, I believe, and generate 405 line and transmit it straight from an SDR. Probably, I don't know about the Pluto. I guess it probably will. I've seen it done with a Hack RF, I think, in the past, but you can generate a 405 line signal for the TV if I ever do get it working, using that method, so that should work perfectly fine. So no doubt you'll probably just stream a transport stream to it and it goes, or something like that. Looking into that yet. It's a bit further down the line. Right, so where are we at? Oh yeah, on there, right. So this is the bit of software I've been fiddling around with, which kind of does it's not a replacement for the setup on Winter Hill, on the Winter Hill or advanced receiver or whatever, but it's just an all-in-one, well, not finished yet, but 4 receivers in one program for watching the streams off the advanced receiver board. So that's 4 streams coming in at the moment. You can see the call signs, MER, what FEC, and all that sort of stuff in the middle there. If you want to view one of them full screen, you can just click on it. So if I do that, then press that button there, well, I just click on it. Basically, it just brings that screen up full screen, and then click on it again, it goes back to normal. I don't know whether that came through. Did it? Yeah, I think it did. So we'll go on the top right one. You can see that one streaming there. So you can basically just zoom in and out to whatever you want to watch. So, and that just brings in the some ports with the stream data, which gives the signal reports and who's on there and stuff like that in the middle. So yeah, it just saves using multiple instances of VLC and another program to control VLC. It kind of does it all in one. I think Brian's already working on one, but this is an alternative one. See how it goes. I've got some tabs at the top here which I haven't shown yet, but hopefully I'm going to have a quick tune in that one and then some settings in that one, so you'll have quick tune built into the viewer basically, so you can just change tab, have a look at the quick tune, and then go back to the display. So at the moment, the bottom right receiver number 4 is fixed on the top channel, and the other 3 are in scan mode on QuickTune, which seems to work quite well. So that's that. Back in camera. Don't think there's anything else to mention really. I don't think. Oh, fitted in, yeah, the 2-meter amplifier. So I was a little bit concerned about the 2-meter amplifier only needing pretty low power input. As in like a watt or something like that, and all my radios can do like 50-80 watts or something. So I didn't really want to put an attenuator in there because you don't want to run everything flat out. But anyway, I was looking at it, doing my own design with some pin diodes and basically just dumping the power to a 50 ohm load. But I came across G3XDY. John, he'd already done this exact thing, and it's a very nice little kit. And he does actually do some kits of most of the parts. So it goes inside a. I'll see if I can do this. Hang on. This one wasn't prepared, but I'll show it anyway. Right, so this is the inside of the 2-meter amplifier, which is nearly finished. I'm saying that, it was nearly finished before. So what I've done now is where the RF comes in on this port, it goes into the relay, comes out of the relay, into this, which has got a RF detector in there. There's an op amp in here, and detector diode and things. And basically it either switches straight through a diode on that side, or at the inside there's a two quarter wave stubs, and basically if the power goes too high it automatically dumps the RF, comes out here and it dumps it into this 50 ohm load on here, and puts out a fault signal, which is then rerouted back to the controller at the bottom, which I need to code in yet. But apologies for the audio, it's probably gone way down there. Just realised. So yeah, really handy thing. So basically it gets around the problem of spikes coming out of your amplifier. Oh yeah, Mike's put the link on there. Spikes coming out of your radio, which is a common thing, and it quite often kills the devices. And it also prevents you from overdriving it as well. So you can set it quite close to the limit, like the full power limit. And I have tested it. I put 50 watts of RF on from my radio here in the shack straight into the amplifier, and it tripped it out straight away and no harm was done. So hopefully with this amplifier, which is going to be outside, so I'll never see it again, hopefully it's fairly foolproof. We'll see. There we go. Right, I think that's it. Should be back on again next week. I'm back at work tomorrow, unfortunately, all weekend and things, but that means the next 4 weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be on the net, so you'll see you then. Okay, round 2 G7 VVF M0 DTS, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Now, there we go. Yeah, not got too much more to add, but hopefully now we have sound on my other camera. I think so. You can probably still hear me now. A couple of things there. I like the Michel's Stream Pi. I shall be having a look at that, definitely. That looks like a bit of fun. USB cable, someone mentioned about that. If you've got a really long one, I'd recommend the ones that have a little kind of built-in amplifier. I've done some stuff with webcams and USB, long runs of USB cables, and some of them just don't work in OBS unless they have a little bit of extra boost, really. So I would recommend those. What else? Oh yeah, I like your software there, Rob. I use your mini tune, no, your quick tune, sorry, all the time to control the Ryde, which is very useful, really. Yeah. Talking about getting into repeaters, you can always have a go at EN if you want, which you can see there. Does have a digital receiver, doesn't output on digital at all, still good old-fashioned 23 SEMS analog, but it receives on 1249, the same as its analog frequency, 1 megasymbol, not H.265, just H.264, or MPEG, and any FEC you want to throw at it as well. So you won't be able to receive it obviously on off air, but it's always on the streaming, so you can always have a look at it there. I'd be interested to know if anyone other than me can get into it, really. I have to put in a good, I'm quite close, I have to put in a good watt to get anywhere near a P5 picture on analog, but I can get into the digital with a perfect picture with, I think, about 40 milliwatts or something like that. So yeah, gives a good picture like that. Anyway, I'd be interested if anyone's in and around the North London area, or maybe further afield. You know, you might get in from further afield on a hill somewhere. Right, I think that was it, really. Just don't look. Oh yeah, Martin, yes, I like your video in the plane, very good. Yeah, right, I'll wish you all a happy Easter, and hopefully I'll be back next week as well. Good night, everybody. G7VVF, round 2, who was it? G0DQH again, I think, or was he not coming back around for a second go? I can't quite remember. I think he might not be. So G4WIM. Thank you, Dave, for the prompt. Oh, and Dave, thanks very much for the information about the 10-second refresh. I've noticed it. I can now see it on other people's signals as well, so at least it's not just me. Thank
Okay, so we'll see what happens now. So have we got audio and video, or am I still overcooking things on the bit rate, I wonder? All good so far. Yeah, I mean, looks good here, Mike. I'm looking at myself locally going up on the uplink. Lots better. Okay. Yeah. Which is our local repeater. So I have to fix it just right. And I'm using a sort of GPU to encode, an RTX 3070 GPU to encode, and I'm running OBS set to record output. And that to turn the audio down to 32K as well, Mike. So that's fine. Yeah, GD3FT is working very nicely since its upgrade. It was in this month's CQTV, and the coverage is really quite amazing, having reduced its symbol rate down from 2 meg down to 500K and changed over to DVB-S2, so we're all very pleased about that. Still some issues with me, Mike. Am I still playing up? Anyway, looks like I still might be having some issues, but looking at it locally on 2.4 gigs on my monitor receiver, it looks absolutely dead stable. So Not too sure what's going on with the receiver there. A bit too much for 33 and 2/3. Lots of movement, mostly okay. All right, well perhaps I should reduce the screen resolution as well, because I normally run at 1080, 1920, 1080 through GB3FT, so I've got a bit of tweaking to do on that as well. Maybe next time. You live and learn. Right, okay, I'm going to sign out, and I think it goes on to Tony, G0AZQ, wanted to pop in at the end there. Yeah, and Mike, I'm not sure on OBS how I set it to CVR. Like I say, I'm using the recording output from OBS, and I'm not convinced what it does when I set the video bitrate. I had thought it was probably constant bitrate, but maybe it's VBR, not too sure. Maybe I have to rethink my whole H.265 encoding scheme. You don't, he says. Right, okay, this is probably a discussion for another time when there's not so many people on the net. With that, over to Tony.
Right. Okay, not much to add to this second round, but Dave did a very good introduction to what of my thinking and maybe requests to the programmers of Ports Down. The picture you've seen is my old portable station, and now I'm making a new one which will be based on the Portsdown 4. But when we are on the countryside, most of us we use a spectrum analyzer next to the station to have a look at the bearing of our station. And now with the nice Lime SDR and also Pluto, but plus for the Lime SDR, because that we can transmit with higher symbol rate. I was thinking that if it was possibilities to have even a crude spectrum analyzer running on the Portsdown 4 using the RX part of the Lime SDR. It looks like, Dave, you have done something already with Pluto, I think. Unfortunately, I was just gone 2 minutes, and when I came back, I just see the pictures with all the explanation you have maybe given. So if you could maybe talk a little bit more what you have done on which hardware is running. This could be interesting, but will be really something very interesting for the people going portable, especially as we go on top of the Swiss mountains, because otherwise we have not many correspondents and we carry all this stuff with us. So it will be really very nice to have a kind of spectrum on the Portsdown 4 with the 7-inch screen. Okay, so that's all for me. I wish you all a very nice Easter. take care of you, and very happy to see you again next week. This is Hotel Bravo 9 Delta Uniform Golf on the BATC Net, and giving back the mic to Dave.
Well, there we are with the squirt. Let's hope that we got some audio. Let's just check on that.
Well, there we are with the squirt. Let's hope that we got some audio.
So we'll just mute the audio there. And good evening, gents. And nice to see you all on. I haven't been on for a while. Just a couple of things. Dave, I've just built the knocker. And just to show you that it is there for real. Slightly different layout, power in at the back, and the usual bits at the front. And I hope I drilled the holes in the right place. So I built that yesterday, and all I need now is a source signal for it. I'm a bit built it, not realising quite where we go from the point of view of a transmit signal for it. Perhaps you'll give us an idea on that. But the thing that I wanted to point out was that where I built it and had this sheet, if that shows okay, shows the layout of the components okay. But this sheet, I don't know where I got it from, but that one shows a completely different layout as far as the components on the board and the listing of various capacitors. No doubt you'll tell me that I downloaded the wrong one there, Dave. So that's that. We've got from my colleague Graham, who is chairman of the Hornsey Amateur Radio Club now, that's M1ASR, and he will be, I am told, he tells me, he will be on the satellite next week when he's got his antenna up, so or his dish up. He's had a problem with the dish that he had before that wasn't behaving itself. So that's that. We've ordered up the bits for the Winter Hill. Graham's building one of those, and I'm building one as well, because we just like building things. So there we are. Sorry, Michelle, you came in a little bit too soon. And here we go. I've got the answer. That's the old version of reorder department to it. Okay, I don't know. That's right. Okay, but it was just a warning to it for anybody else that's building the knocker that there is out there a file that's got the wrong bits in. Anyway, we soon sorted that out. Not a problem. Okay. Yep, got that, Dave. So I'll put it back to you, and we've run past the witching hour. Sorry to have come in a little bit late. Anyway, cheers all, and nice to see you all up, and hopefully we'll have Graham on as well next week. G8 GKQ G0 AZQ. And
G0AZQ. Oh, that works. GKQ. Okay, I've turned the camera around this time to explain the spectrum analyzer. The ports down bit is only a display. I really wish I could get it running on the Lime or the Pluto to do the RF receiving, but the ports down bit is only a display. So if I turn the camera around here, this is the real spectrum analyzer over in the corner. This big unit here is the analyzer itself, and I usually display it on the scope up here as an XY display. And you can see that scope is 41 years old or something like that, but it works very well for what I want to do. But I take the X and Y across the shack to an A to D converter, and they then end up over here on the Portstown. So it's only a display, unfortunately. I really wish it was a full analyzer. We did have something that used an RTL SDR to do a little bit of that, but it'd be really nice to use the Lime. So that's the explanation. But really, I just wanted a way of capturing waveforms, or not waveforms, spectrums, for use in CQTV and the like, rather than photographing it with an iPhone, as you'll see in the current issue. Okay, let's get my notes. Jim, the Ryde does do DVB-T receive using the NUCA. All you need to do is make sure you're on the latest version of Ryde, then go into the console menu, and one of the options in there is a DVB-T receiver. Tim is working on putting it in the remote control, but it's already in there from the console menu, so you will be able to look at yourself. Yeah, Hack TV I think is very good. I met the author of that a while back for 405 lines, but I haven't played with that, Rob. And that receiver viewer looks lovely. The power trip, I wonder whether that is fail-safe, or how much of a spike goes through, whether you've managed to look at the leading edge, whether any of the power gets through on that. Tim, you'll do better with 1280 720. 1920 1080 is always a bit dodgy in 333. It's just too much for the bit rate you've got. Tony, to transmit DVB-T, read the article in CQTV. You can either do it with a Portstown 3 and a Lime, or a Portstown 4 and a Pluto. I'm working on Portstown 4 with Lime. That will come, but not yet. And Tony, if you can tell us where you found that out-of-date layout, we'll take it down. But it's a bit difficult if we don't know where you found it. So that's about all from me. Do read CQTV. There's lots in there about DVB-T that both Noel and I spent some time writing. So have a good look at that, and start getting ready for the activity days and the contests later in the year. I do plan to add a 29, 50, 70 and 144 meg part of the IARU contest that will be running in June. So well worth getting all that kit sorted. Okay, I'm not monitoring the chat, so I'll have a quick look at that. Yes, lip sync. It changes from week to week. I think that's the problem. I have one constant set in OBS. But anyway, you've heard what I said. Right, GKQ closing the BATC Net. Thanks all for contributing, and look forward to seeing you all next week. And leaving the frequency clear for a free-for-all. G8GKQ, Salisbury, UK.